Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking, the hot box. Fucking on your bitch, yeah.
Thought. I know it's supposed to mean hoe to the new generation.
If a lady dresses a certain way, then she's a thought.
Society-wise, I think we use thought because it's a lot of things that can rhyme with it in songs, so it's real easy to just spit that out there for a rapper.
She's a thought, right? What's a thought? A T-H-O-T. That hoe over there.
Oh, it's an acronym.
It doesn't really take much for me to call somebody a thought.
I think it's clever. That hoe over there. The kids are insulting people with acronyms.
There are a lot of terms that box women in.
The first time I heard the word thought, I was moving to Chicago. My cousin's boyfriend told me, whatever you do, don't become a thought. And I was like, a thought? Like, what do you mean? He's like, no, thought, that hoe over there.
Some people find the images and the words described to women in hip-hop to be inappropriate or offensive.
Lyrics can really be demeaning to women. I mean, sort of as this new generation of artists, do you have any feelings on that, or does it bother you, or do you think it's just part of the culture?
But there's a lot of layers behind the meaning of these words, like thought, bitch, and hoe.
She's dressed in a bikini, and so that just goes with this normative idea that I have of women being naked, but like, how is she constructing her sexuality? Is she doing it in a way that's just because of what some man says is desirable, or is she like taking ownership of that? And I think that it's very easy for us to undermine those complexities because we're not taught to see women as fully human, especially not Black women.
And now in the new world, it's become like a term of endearment amongst people who for whatever reason or circumstances, it's like, I ain't no bitch. It's like, you know, girls be like, bitch. It's the same way like dudes be like, my nigga.
She's a bitch when I do my thing. Got the place on fire, burn it down to flame.
When people think of women in hip hop, the image that's going to come up is going to be a Black woman. Through enslavement, Black women's bodies were seen as, you know, a force of labor. You know, you think of people like the Hottentot Venus, who was a Black woman from South Africa, who was taken up to Europe and basically paraded around like she was a circus attraction for her large breasts and her big behind and her curves. And, you know, you still see how a lot of that imagery is utilized within hip hop. And how maybe in the mainstream that it is kind of, it's taken in by people because it's something that's palatable for them because it fits within their normative understanding of what a Black woman is or should be.
I definitely have been told that there are two types of women in this world, and basically one is a woman that you marry and the other is a woman that you don't.
I've been told that there are like hoes, like women who sleep around, and that there are like wifey material type of women. And it's irritating because women or people who identify as women can be both if they want.
Historically, Black women have kind of been put into these different boxes of like, you're either a welfare queen or you're a Jezebel or you're a mammy. And a lot of those controlling images still, they play out within hip hop.
Bitch bad, woman good, lady better, hey misunderstood.
As a woman, as a Black woman, walk on a fine line to like, it's a word that I avoid. How can I go about this, do what I want to do without being called this word?
Yo, one time for my LA sisters, one time for lame niggas can't tell the difference. One time for a nigga who, so don't save her. I wanna be saved, don't save her.
When I first heard words like hoe and bitch, I was young, 7, 8 years old, probably elementary, and people would call girls hoes or bitches or whatever it was. Over time, my feelings about these words have changed greatly.
When you are a girl, number one, any kind of girl, you're expected to be like pure and chaste and not know what a dick is.
There's a respectable type of woman, you know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, if someone is gonna look at you like a hoe, then you will carry yourself as that person.
And then as a black woman, you're shamed for growing breasts, you're shamed for anything that is like not, you know, you just, if it's too much attention, you're not supposed to be doing it.
Two kinds of women are the ones that are acceptable for being loved or not. Oh my God. Yeah, heard about it.
And like women have been taught for so long to repress that need in them. Like if like biology didn't provide a healthy sex drive for women, like y'all would have died off a long time ago.
And kind of how women are put into these different categories that really undermine our complexity.
Being a woman is a whole lot of different things, and that you show up one way, reflecting back to people who are seeing you this one aspect that they can see, you know, and it's limiting.
There are two types of women.
Humankind is like diamond, multifaceted, many sides. So there's no possible way for there to be only two types of anything.
It depends on, it depends on what you look like. I feel like I sound like a guy.
In hip hop, I think primarily whose sexuality is acceptable is cisgender, heterosexual black men. But it's always the women whose sexuality fits within what heterosexual cisgender men feel is desirable or whatever. And any other type of sexuality that falls outside of that in the black community isn't really considered valid, or it has to always be through this lens of what's acceptable by those men.
Hey yo, Tweety, where the hoes, bro? Hey yo, Keys, where the hoes, though?
People always want to look at hip hop and be, look, it's so misogynistic, it's so violent, it's so all of these things, right? But hip hop is merely a reflection of the larger capitalistic American culture.
To just focus on some of the sexism and objectification and homophobia within hip hop really minimizes what women and what queer people are doing within the community to really empower ourselves.
I've been rolling in trees, a little ashy, nappy, happy, limbs intact, doing dandy. Life is sweet, so sweet. Fruits are the earth's candy. What would I do without Brandy, Foxy, Kim, and Missy, Patra, and Erica? Proof there can be more than one without replicas. Truth in the booth, you can read through my retina. What's a girl to do when the world's against you? Throw it in their face, let them know that you meant to. Fucking the mental while you stroking the soul. That's what you call fucking self-control. I want to own my sanity, minimize my vanity, my hair defying gravity, melanin so high, opacity.
When we say what is a free thought, obviously that's reclaiming that term and what that means. And some people are going to find empowerment from that and some people aren't.
I just think that like if a woman doesn't tap into that, like she's never really gonna be able to completely know herself and represent herself and like be a grown-ass woman out in these streets, because women like sex, especially if, you know, like you're okay with yourself and you're with somebody that you're into. And I just don't think it does any service to anybody's womanhood.
Because it's been hard for female artists since the beginning of hip hop and since the beginning of time. It's gotta be hard to make it for a woman in any way. How it gets done, dude, I'm not a woman, and any woman that's survived long enough to be empowering the other women, I'm gonna be not in the hater category when it comes to that.
I am multifaceted. I can be this, I can be this, I can be that because I'm multidimensional. I am the black woman. I'm more than just this. I'm more than just a mammy. I'm more than just a hoochie. I'm more than just like the fucking baby mama, the welfare queen.
You have to fuck with the gray areas. And that what that means is that just like any community, some people are gonna feel oppressed by certain things, but they also might be able to find liberation within that. And I think that when you're on the margins of a community, like you're forced to find that liberation.
Whatever you do.